Back down to earth. Back down to earth is the player who had an exceptional week the week before. I usually like to take them from the pool of badasses in their respective positions, top 5 in their positions.
That's impressive.
But then
I don't do that.
Comes back down to earth. Usually something under, under that 10-point threshold or thereabouts. So, Scott, back down to earth.
Mine was not a badass last week, but he was in the top 10.
Okay.
Was that right? Top 11. Right. Mike Wallace had 15 points last week. Against Cincinnati, had 38 yards and 2 TDs. So he didn't have that many yards, but 2 touchdowns.
Right.
He does not get in the end zone this week against the Browns. He might still have 70, 80 yards, I think, this week, but he is under that 10-point threshold, which means he is a back-down-to-earth candidate.
I like that.
Temper your expectations.
Who was yours for last week?
That is a great question. I should tell you that. But I probably shouldn't tell you that because it was a bad call. Roddy White versus the Texans. He had 11 points. It was not a good week for me last week. He wasn't a badass, but he certainly got over that 10-point threshold where we like to kind of draw the line.
Yeah,
so
right there.
Yep. All right. Not a good week for me last week.
So my back down to earth last week was Dustin Keller. He had 61 yards and 2 TDs the week before.
Did he play last week?
And he did play last week, surprisingly. But he had 3 catches for 12 yards. Good call. Back down to earth with a thud.
Ugh.
Yes.
That was ugly.
So,
I told a buddy to start him last week.
Why'd you do that?
It was him or some other dud, and I thought Selleck would at least have a better week than the guy. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I mix them up too sometimes.
I don't know why.
They're both wearing green and white.
Anyway,
so this week, back down to earth. Oh, who can it be?
Who can it? Oh.
Percy Harvin.
Badass last week, right?
Badass last week. 175 yards and 2 TDs. Are you kidding me? But you know what? Vikings are in a bit of trouble. He's losing his buddy, right? And the Lions are roaring back, fighting for that wild card berth. I think they clip Percy's wings. I think he's coming down to earth.
You think below 10 points?
I do believe below 10 points.
Even though he's getting some runs as well.
Even the yardage I mentioned actually was combined. I think it was more like 145 receiving and then another 30 rushing.
I disagree with your call right there.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think he gets over 10 points.
I like him rough.
Yeah, I think.
So
anyway,
I do.
I think Percy's got 12 or 13 points.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna outbid me by 1 or 2 points. That's very.
You're going 9.
Wow.
I said 12 or 13. That's 3 points.
Yeah. Wow. I said 9.
Above the threshold.
Below the threshold.
Over under.
See what happens.
Over under 10 points.
All
I
right.
say over.
Okay.
Good luck.
Back on earth.